Deion Sanders says some of his Colorado Buffaloes players need to play the bill. In the world of college football, Deion Coach Prime, Sanders never lets his words go unnoticed. Every quote, every statement, every sharp jab carries meaning, often wrapped in metaphor but rooted in truth. His latest message, that some of his Colorado Buffaloes players need to pay the bill, wasn't just a fiery soundbite. It was a challenge, a warning, and perhaps a moment of reckoning for a team still defining its identity in the chaotic world of college football. The phrase itself dripped with Prime's signature blend of charisma and accountability. "You've been eating, you've been sitting at the table, you've been enjoying the meal," Sanders said, his tone calm but cutting. "But at some point, you've got to pay the bill." It was his way of saying that talent alone wasn't enough anymore. The time had come for results, for production, for performance under pressure. And for the 2025 Colorado Buffaloes, that message couldn't have come at a more critical time. The context: a team in transition. Colorado's football journey under Deion Sanders has been one of the most closely watched stories in sports. From the moment he took over the program in late 2022, he promised to bring not just wins but a revolution, a total overhaul of culture, mentality, and expectation. He didn't mince words then, and he certainly isn't mincing them now. After a roller-coaster 2024 season that saw flashes of brilliance followed by frustrating collapses, the Buffaloes entered the 2025 campaign with higher stakes and louder critics. Expectations had shifted from curiosity to demand. The honeymoon was over. The bill was due. For a team that had once been dismissed as irrelevant in the Power 5 landscape, the transformation under Sanders was undeniable. The lights were brighter, the cameras closer, the headlines bolder. But with all that attention came the pressure to deliver, to prove that the Prime effect was more than just hype. And after a sluggish start to the season, Deion's words hit like a thunderclap across Boulder. Coach Prime's message: accountability with attitude. When Deion Sanders talks about paying the bill, he's not just speaking about effort. He's talking about accountability, ownership, and earning one's place through performance. It's the same philosophy that defined his Hall of Fame career. Sanders was electric on the field because he demanded the same excellence from himself that he now demands from his players. "You don't get to eat for free," he continued in his post-practice interview. "You've been given opportunities, exposure, resources, but all that comes with responsibility. Some of these guys need to understand that blessings come with bills." In the room, there was silence. Every player knew who he was talking about, even if no names were mentioned. The message was clear. Complacency had crept into the building, and Prime was ready to flush it out. The locker room reaction. Inside the Colorado locker room, Sanders' words sparked reflection and fire. Several players reportedly took the statement personally, not as an insult but as motivation. The Buffaloes, after all, have a locker room filled with transfers, five-star recruits, and players who've bet on themselves by joining Sanders' revolution. "Coach Prime keeps it real," one player said anonymously. "If you ain't producing, you know he's coming for you. That's just who he is." Another added, "It's a wake-up call. He's saying we've been blessed. Nil deals, attention, cameras, but we still gotta prove why we deserve it." Sanders' unique ability to blend showmanship with substance is what makes his leadership so polarizing yet effective. He speaks the language of both generations, the old-school grind and the new-age confidence. In that balance lies his greatest strength. The Buffaloes struggle. Consistency versus stardom. The 2025 Buffaloes have all the tools. A high-powered offense led by quarterback Shedeur Sanders. Dynamic wide receivers who can stretch the field. A young but talented defense with potential playmakers. And yet, inconsistency remains their biggest enemy. One week, the Buffs can look like a top 15 team, firing on all cylinders with swagger and speed. The next, they crumble under pressure, unable to close games that are within their grasp. It's that lack of steady execution that frustrates Coach Prime more than anything. Talent ain't the issue, he said earlier in the season. We got talent, but talent without discipline? That's a problem. You can have all the gifts in the world, but if you don't bring effort, it's like having a credit card with no balance. Looks good, but it won't get you far. That's what paying the bill really means in Prime's dictionary: showing up, performing, and earning the right to shine. The weight of the spotlight. Few programs in college football have faced as much media scrutiny as Colorado since Deion Sanders' arrival. Every game feels like a reality show episode. Every mistake magnified. Every highlight viral. For young athletes, that's both a blessing and a burden. While NIL opportunities and national exposure have transformed the college landscape, they've also introduced distractions. Players who used to fight for recognition now have it before they've proven anything. And Sanders knows it. The spotlight don't make you great, he said. It exposes you. You either handle it or you fold. Some of my guys, they're enjoying the light but not putting in the work to keep it shining. It's a brutally honest truth. Under Coach Prime, there are no hiding spots. Leadership in the Prime era. Deion Sanders' coaching style is unlike anything college football has ever seen. Equal parts preacher, motivator, and strategist, he blends entertainment with education. He talks about faith, family, and football in the same breath. He tells his players they're kings, then demands they act like it. But beneath the flash, there's structure, a foundation built on values. Sanders has always believed that greatness requires gratitude and grit. When he says players need to pay the bill, it's not about punishment, it's about participation in a collective mission. He's telling his roster that being part of the Colorado Buffaloes is not an entitlement. It's a commitment. Everybody wants the success, he told reporters. But when it's time to do the dirty work, to grind, to study film, to sacrifice, that's when you find out who really wants it. Shedeur Sanders. The example and the standard. At the heart of the Buffalo story is Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son and Colorado's star quarterback. No one embodies the Prime philosophy more clearly. Shedeur's poise, preparation, and performance have become the measuring stick for the rest of the team. But even he's not immune from his father's demanding tone. Even my own son's gotta pay the bill, Deion once joked, though everyone in the room knew he meant it. Ain't no favoritism in this house. Shedeur, in turn, embraces that challenge. His leadership has grown with every snap, his composure tested in the most chaotic moments. He understands his father's message because he's lived by it since childhood. That success comes with a tab, and sooner or later, you've got to settle it. Building a culture, not just a roster. When Deion Sanders first walked into Boulder, he made it clear that Colorado football would no longer accept mediocrity. He flipped the roster, revamped the staff, and brought an energy that turned the program into a national conversation. But culture doesn't grow overnight. It takes roots, repetition, and reality checks. That's what this bill comment represents. A checkpoint in Colorado's ongoing evolution. The flashy entrance was fun, the early wins were thrilling, but now comes the grind, the accountability, the true test of sustainability. This ain't about being viral, Sanders said during spring camp. This is about being victorious. The divide between message and perception. Of course, Deion's style isn't for everyone. Critics say his constant metaphors and tough love approach can alienate players. Others argue it's exactly what this generation needs, a wake-up call in an era of instant gratification. But Sanders doesn't coach for approval. He coaches for results. Some people don't understand me because they've never had someone hold them accountable, he said. They mistake love for softness, but real love holds you to a standard. And that standard for Colorado is sky high. The psychology of paying the bill. Sanders' metaphor cuts deeper than football. It's a life lesson. In the real world, you can't enjoy benefits without effort. You can't reap rewards without responsibility. It's a message he's hammering home to young men navigating fame, money, and expectation all at once. When Prime talks about paying the bill, he's preparing his players for life beyond the game, for moments when no cameras are watching and no one is cheering. Because in his eyes, greatness isn't proven on Saturday. It's earned Monday through Friday, in the quiet grind, in the early film sessions, in the unseen reps. Reactions from around the program. Sanders' statement quickly rippled beyond Boulder. Analysts, fans, and former players chimed in. Some praised him for keeping it real in an era where coaches often sugarcoat. Others felt it was another example of Prime's public accountability style, which sometimes puts players under unnecessary pressure. But even those who disagree with his methods can't deny his results. Colorado's recruiting has skyrocketed. The program's brand is stronger than ever. Players are learning to balance fame and focus, even if it comes with hard truths.